I secretly checked and found out it was a girl. I imagined how cute she would be when she was born. But I was pushed down the stairs by Zed's childhood sweetheart. She even falsely accused me of falling because I pushed her. Zed didn't listen to my explanation. Instead, he took Vivian to the hospital without even looking at me. I was in so much pain that I couldn't get up from the ground. I called Zed and cried, begging him to take me to the hospital and save our child. I said coldly, if the child is as vicious as you, I would rather you not give birth to it. Later, my neighbors took me to the hospital, but the child was gone. At that moment, I was desperate. But then I saw Vivian's Instagram. She and Zed hugged each other tightly. You are my whole world. I wiped away my tears and calmly commented, congratulations. He will be your whole world from now on. Lying on the hospital bed, I suddenly opened my eyes. Despite my weak body, I ran to find a doctor. Like crazy child, my child. The doctor looked sad. I'm sorry. We tried our best. No, it's not true. I shook my head frantically. Tears streaming down my eyes. I collapsed to the ground, pounding the ground with my right hand. My child, she was only 4 months old and had yet to see the world. I hated Zed's distrust and Vivian's viciousness. And I hated myself for not protecting my child. Ah! I let out a heart-wrenching scream. The doctors, nurses, and people in the same ward all felt sorry for me and offered their condolences, but I couldn't hear what they were saying at all. I left the hospital and returned home as if I lost my soul. Looking at the baby's clothes and toys in the room, I walked over numbly, picking up them one by one and touching them. I started to cry again. My child would never be able to use them. I locked the door and drew all the curtains, burning these things one by one. My child, I'm sorry. Don't come to me in your next life. Go to a happy family with parents who love you. My child, I want to die in your place. As I burned these things, I murmured something. The room was filled with acrid smoke. Zed opened the door and came in, coughing repeatedly due to being choked. He hurriedly ran over to open the curtains and the window. Then he snatched the clothes from my hands. Are you crazy? You burn the child's clothes and toys for such a trivial matter? You are unreasonable. He actually thought it was a trivial matter. I looked at him calmly. Why are you looking at me like this? He felt a little frightened by my gaze and frowned. Look at you. You don't look like a wife at all. It turned out he still knew that I was his wife. I laughed. How ridiculous. When I was lying on the ground unable to move due to pain. Why didn't he think that I was his wife? Now he knew I was his wife, which was ridiculous. Since you think I don't look like a wife, then go find Vivian. He perfectly fits the image of a wife in your mind. You are so unreasonable. Zed's tone was dissatisfied. Nancy, can you please be reasonable? Vivian was pushed down by you. Is there anything wrong with me sending her to the hospital? Don't think of us in that way. The relationship between her and me is very pure. Was their relationship pure? Then why did they hug each other? I let out a sneer. Only those who are dirty themselves think others are dirty. I can't talk to you anymore. He slammed the door and left angrily. I laughed with sarcasm. I knew that he was going to find Vivian, but I didn't care anymore. No matter who he went to, it had nothing to do with me anymore. Zed and I met in college, and he confessed to me as soon as he saw me. I was scared at the time. And ran back to the dormitory with my roommate. After that, he waited for me downstairs in the dormitory every day as long as he saw me. He confessed his love to me and asked me to be his girlfriend. He did this for 4 years. My classmates were all moved by him, but I still didn't agree because I didn't believe in love at first sight. After graduation, he continued to follow me to whichever city I went to work. 2 years later, I was moved by him and agreed to be his girlfriend. Within a year, we were married. I thought I would live a happy life after marriage as I had a husband who loved me. And that was indeed the case at the beginning. But later, Vivian appeared. It was then that I realized that Zed pursued me because Vivian and I looked somewhat alike and the person he had always loved was Vivian. How ironic. I became Vivian's substitute. It was a pity that I didn't understand it earlier, otherwise I wouldn't have. As I touched my belly, I turned around and went into the bedroom to pack my things. The doctor told me to rest well after returning home for at least a month. But now I just wanted to leave this home. The longer I stayed in this house, the more pain I felt. I took my suitcase and left the place where I had lived for 5 years without any regrets. I rented a small house and called my best friend, Olivia, asking her to help me take a half-month leave from work. I stayed in the rental house and rested peacefully in the evening. Zed called me and his tone was questioning. Where are you? Why are your things all gone? I chuckled. I'm making room for you and Vivian. Isn't this what you've always wanted? Now that I left, you can bring her home and live with her openly. What are you talking about? I'm warning you, come back. Immediately hung up the phone and sneered as I imagined the scene of Zed on the other end of the phone being furious. In the past, he could control me because of the child, but now the child was gone. I was not afraid of anything now. Zed called me every day. At first I would answer the phone. But later I ignored it and put him on the blacklist. I spoiled him too much. In the past, said he wanted to hear my voice every time he called. So no matter how late it was, I would always answer his call. But he never asked me if I was tired. Thinking about it now, I thought I was stupid before. A month later, I felt that I had recovered, so I went to the church. I went there to pray for my child, which was the only thing I could do for her as her mother. I heard a familiar voice. Zed, your birthday is coming soon. I want to get a talisman as a birthday gift for you. You won't mind this cheap gift? Right. No, I like anything you give me. Besides, the talisman is not cheap. I will take it with me all the time. Yeah, that's great. Zed and Vivian held hands, talking and laughing. I looked at them expressionlessly when Zed saw me, he showed embarrassment on his face, but it quickly disappeared. He walked over to question me. Why are you here? This was a ridiculous question. Since they could come here, why couldn't I? Nancy, what a coincidence. Vivian walked to me with a smile, her eyes full of pride as she looked at me. Don't get me wrong. I just came here to get a talisman for Zed, I sneered. I don't know if he needs a talisman, but you definitely do. Mistress who destroys other people's family must need a talisman. Vivian's expression turned ugly. In an instant, Zed's face darkened. Enough. Nancy, I've told you that the relationship between Vivian and me is pure. Why are you talking like this? Your relationship has nothing to do with me. I don't care, said. I've asked a lawyer to draft a divorce agreement. I want to divorce you. What did you say? Said looked at me in disbelief. He couldn't believe that I wanted to divorce him. Nancy, why do you want to divorce? Said Vivian looked anxious, but I could see the joy in her eyes. Is it because of me? She looked at Zed with an apologetic look on her face. It's all my fault. Nancy misunderstood me. Zed, I better leave now. Vivian was still acting. Looking at her hypocritical behavior, I felt so sick that I almost vomited. I thought, you indeed should leave now. It has nothing to do with you, Zed comforted Vivian. He had always been like this. As long as Vivian showed a pitiful appearance, he would worry about her. He was so stupid. Nancy, have you made up your mind? Said. Turned his head and looked down at me with a threatening tone. I am the father of the child. If you divorce me, the child will be born without a father. Is this what you want, my child? I felt sad in my heart. The child was gone. Yes, Miss Wilson, you should think it over carefully. Vivian was unhappy. That said didn't immediately agree to the divorce. But she still disguised herself as a kind woman. It's so pitiful that the baby doesn't have a father. I'll also get a talisman for the baby today. You can get back together with Zed. How dare she mention the child? She was the one who killed my child. Shut up, I yelled at her. You have no right to mention my child. Nancy. Are you crazy? Zed immediately protected Vivian behind him and looked at me with a frown. Crazy? I wished I were crazy so I wouldn't feel so heartbroken when I thought of my child. Tears flowed uncontrollably from the corners of my eyes. Zed was stunned. It was the first time he saw me cry. At this time, a priest walked out of the church and came to me. Miss, just now you forgot to tell me the name of your dead child. I wiped away my tears. It's Amy. This was the name I gave to my baby. Wait, the child you're talking about is ours? Zed's face turned pale. I looked at him coldly. It's not your child. It's mine. She has nothing to do with you. Zed froze in place, his body trembling slightly. Zed's lips parted, but no words came out. What did you just say? His voice was hoarse. I looked at him without any emotion. Our daughter died a month ago. The day you chose Vivian over me. The day I begged you to come back. His face turned white. No. That's impossible. You lied to me. I laughed quietly. Lied? I called you 7 times. I sent you voice messages. I begged you to save your child. You answered me. You said. I repeated every word he had once spoken. If the child is as vicious as you, I'd rather you not give birth to it. Every syllable hit him like a hammer. His pupils trembled violently. He fumbled for his phone with shaking hands. The call history was still there. 7 missed calls. 3 unread voice messages. He had never listened to them. Because that day, Vivian had cried that she was frightened. He had silenced his phone. With trembling fingers, he pressed the first recording. Nancy's desperate sobs echoed through the church. Zed, please. It hurts. Our baby. Please come back. I can't move. The recording ended with a painful scream. The entire church fell silent. Even Vivian's face lost its color. Zed staggered backward as if all the strength had left his body. No. No. This can't be. His knees hit the marble floor. For the first time since I had known him, I saw him cry. He covered his face with both hands. Our daughter. Amy. I killed my daughter. The priest closed his eyes and sighed softly. May God forgive those who realize their sins too late. Vivian hurriedly grabbed Zed's arm. Zed. It wasn't your fault. You didn't know. It was an accident. Before she could finish speaking. Slap. The sound echoed through the church. Vivian stared at him in disbelief, one hand covering her burning cheek. You hit me? Zed's eyes were bloodshot. You told me Nancy pushed you. You swore she tried to kill you. Vivian's breathing quickened. You lied. His voice was terrifyingly calm. My wife lost our daughter because of you. My daughter died because of your lies. I trusted you. I abandoned my wife. I abandoned my child. He laughed bitterly, tears streaming down his face. I was the biggest fool. Vivian suddenly panicked. It wasn't entirely my fault. I only wanted you to stay with me. I didn't know she would miscarry. The moment those words left her mouth, everyone froze. She realized what she had admitted. Her face drained of color. Zed slowly turned toward her. So. You knew she fell. You knew she was pregnant. And you still lied. Vivian stepped backward. It wasn't like that. You pushed her. The priest frowned. Several people nearby had already taken out their phones. Someone whispered. Call the police. Vivian's legs gave out. She collapsed onto the floor. Meanwhile, I simply stood there. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No joy. Because no amount of truth could bring Amy back. I turned and walked toward the church doors. Nancy. Zed rushed after me. He grabbed my wrist. Please. I'm sorry. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. I'll do anything. Please don't leave me. I slowly pulled my hand away. When our eyes met, he saw only emptiness. Make it up? I smiled faintly. Can you bring Amy back? He froze. Can you let me hear her call me mom just once? Silence. Can you erase the day I lay on that cold pavement begging my husband to save us? His shoulders trembled. No. I can't. Exactly. I handed him a white envelope. Inside was the divorce agreement. I already signed it. My lawyer will contact you. He refused to take it. Nancy. I won't divorce you. I love you. For the first time in years, those words sounded sincere. Unfortunately, they came far too late. You don't love me. You loved the woman who looked like Vivian. When she came back, I became disposable. And when our daughter needed her father, you chose someone else. He broke down completely. I was wrong. I know I was wrong. I'll never forgive myself. I nodded. You shouldn't. Then I walked away. Behind me, I heard the sound of a grown man crying uncontrollably. But I never looked back. Some people lose the one they love. Only after they have destroyed them beyond repair. Nancy did not look back. The church doors closed behind her, muffling the sound of Zed's sobs. Outside, the autumn wind brushed against her face. For the first time in weeks, she took a deep breath. It still hurt. The pain of losing Amy would never disappear. But she had finally said everything she had carried alone. The next morning, Zed sat in his office without moving. His assistant knocked several times before entering. Mr. Carter, you have 3 meetings today. Cancel them. The board meeting is very important. I said cancel them. His voice was flat. The assistant had never seen him like this. His suit was wrinkled. His eyes were swollen from crying. After everyone left, Zed opened the tiny drawer of his desk. Inside was the ultrasound picture Nancy had once slipped into his briefcase as a surprise. He had been too busy that day to look at it. He unfolded the faded paper with trembling fingers. A tiny figure. Their daughter. Amy. His tears landed on the picture. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. He whispered those words over and over until his voice broke. Meanwhile, Vivian received a call from the police. Miss Vivian Brooks? Yes. We need you to come in regarding an assault investigation. Her heart skipped a beat. I don't know what you're talking about. We have witnesses from the church, security footage from the apartment building, and new medical evidence. Her legs turned weak. A week later, Nancy received another call. It was from her lawyer. Mrs. Wilson, Mr. Carter refuses to sign the divorce papers. Nancy closed her eyes. I expected that. He asked if there is any possibility of reconciliation. No. I'll relay that. She hung up without another word. Zed began investigating everything that had happened that day. He obtained surveillance footage from the apartment complex. The video showed Vivian arguing with Nancy near the staircase. Although the exact push wasn't clearly visible, it showed Vivian grabbing Nancy's arm moments before Nancy tumbled down the stairs. Another neighbor came forward. I saw Miss Vivian shove her. I thought her husband already knew. The words struck Zed like lightning. He had condemned Nancy without asking a single question. He had never even listened. 2 months later, Vivian was formally charged with intentionally causing bodily harm and providing false statements during the investigation. Her reputation collapsed overnight. Friends disappeared. Companies canceled their contracts with her. Reporters surrounded her apartment every day. She desperately tried calling Zed. He blocked every number she used. One rainy afternoon, Nancy visited Amy's grave. She placed a bouquet of white lilies in front of the small headstone. My little Amy. I'm doing better. I still miss you every day. But Mommy is learning to smile again. She gently brushed away a fallen leaf. Just then, someone placed another bouquet beside hers. She didn't need to turn around to know who it was. Zed. He stood several feet away, thinner than before. His eyes looked lifeless. I come every week, he said quietly. I know. You knew? The caretaker told me. He lowered his head. I never expected you to forgive me. I only wanted to apologize. Nancy looked at Amy's name carved into the stone. You've already apologized. It doesn't change anything. I know. He swallowed hard. I sold our house. I donated Amy's nursery to a children's hospital. I started a foundation to help women who lose pregnancies because of domestic violence or negligence. Nancy remained silent. I'm not telling you this to earn forgiveness, he continued. I know I don't deserve it. I just wanted Amy's short life to mean something. For the first time since the tragedy, Nancy's expression softened, not toward him, but toward the memory of their daughter. I hope the children it helps grow up happy. So do I. After a long silence, Nancy stood. She looked once more at Amy's grave. Goodbye, sweetheart. Then she turned to leave. Zed instinctively took half a step forward. Nancy. She paused but didn't face him. I truly loved you. Nancy's eyes filled with tears again. So did I. That's why losing you hurt even more than losing our marriage. She walked away without looking back. This time, Zed didn't follow. He remained beside Amy's grave until sunset, finally understanding that some mistakes cannot be undone, not because forgiveness is impossible, but because the chance to choose differently